Hello, this is Alchemical Transmissions. My name is Nicholas, and today we're going to be talking about the current twin flame energies and what is happening between the divine polarities currently. So, to start off, I know typically that the divine energies are considered masculine and feminine, which is the nature of just the duality that we live in. And in my experience, when there is a cohesive energy such as this connection, there are divine masculine and feminine properties, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are exclusive. There can be a wide array of dynamics in this connection. There can be a runner and chaser for either person. It can go back and forth. It can be what we call the feminine or the masculine, and to attribute this dynamic of the feminine awakening first and more to the spiritual side, while the masculine is more on the materialistic side, isn't always the case. It hasn't been the case for me. What I will say though is that there is typically, in my experience and from what I've seen with others, there usually is always one person who gravitates towards the spiritual side first. They usually go through the dark nights of the soul first, and they begin their spiritual journey. And this is to guide the other half. Both parties could have similar amounts of both feminine and masculine energies. But what is true is that there is typically one of the two parties that begins their spiritual journey first to guide the other. And if you're listening to this, you are most likely that party. So I refer to them as polarities. Calling them masculine and feminine is not something I really like to do, just because it's too much generalization, and both parties are usually going back and forth between a lot of those energies anyway. But many times there are polarities, aren't always necessarily defined in a masculine or feminine way. They're just differences. So now that we've covered that, I want to talk about what's currently going on, what I've been picking up on energetically, what I've noticed happening with other people who are in this dynamic. There is a big shift in awareness in the unawakened twin, and I say unawakened just because I haven't thought of a better term for the other polarity yet. But a lot of them aren't unawakened anymore. They are awakened to this connection, but I mean in the sense that they have awakened after the more spiritually, well, the first spiritually attuned twin. So I've noticed this shift, that this awareness felt very similar to the shift that I felt in the beginning of my journey, where who I was around, people I was with, the women I was attracted to, all started to shift. And I wasn't a vibrational match anymore for any of those things. And as that shift started to happen, I became aware of my twin. Now, this energy is the same energy that I'm feeling right now that's happening to the unawakened. There is this awareness that's deeply spiritual, and it doesn't feel subconscious. It feels very conscious, how it did for me, and how I'm sure many of you who are on this journey have already gone through this, where your world sort of starts to feel flipped upside down. There's a deep knowing that this other person is really at the root of who you are, and your self-expression begins to flourish, and the things around you that you've been manifesting for a while, you realize that they aren't going to flourish with you as you return to yourself. And this really is sort of the energy of spiritual mastery, the beginning of that journey, that awareness, the deep awareness of self, and sort of the jumping off point for your spiritual journey. And I know that a lot of twins were already awakened and have been for a while, but now I've noticed a deeper shift. There's pulling away from the world that they've surrounded themselves with, that comfortability, because before there was a knowing, but there was a lot of fear to let their life and everything they've built fall away, to step into this journey, because that's really what it feels like. It feels like a stepping into this journey in accordance with their twin. That is the shift that is occurring right now. It's very deep, and it's I can't stress it enough. It's a feeling of awareness. It's awareness of the importance of what this is. It's awareness to how deeply tied this journey and this person is to themselves. And it's a recognition of the life that they're living, the people, the things, everything that wasn't in alignment with who they really are. It's a deep recognition of that discordance, and that the twin flame is the light towards the direction that they need to follow on this new spiritual journey. They're the same vibration. They're aware of that now, and the fear of letting go of this old life is starting to fall away, because there's a stepping into an acceptance and an appreciation for what this journey is. And it's almost like the value has shifted in the unawakened's perspective. It's become there's a shift in perspective towards the value of the manifestations in their life. So no longer are they valuing people, places, things, relationships that they did before. Not that they truly valued it, but they thought that that's what would make them happy. There might have been some happiness in it. That's what they thought was the right thing to do, the right people to be around. The value has shifted away from that towards this connection, and also towards their own spiritual journey. And a lot of times this includes what their spiritual mission will be. So that's another thing I've noticed, is that there's the energy of awakening to specific spiritual missions, and a stepping into that and towards that they were very afraid of before. They were afraid to go in that direction because of how it would seem to others, because of how deeply intimate that mission is towards the self. It would raise fears. Again, it would be shining light on their true self, and to do that you have to face all of the darkness that has accumulated in your life and overcome it. That's scary. And so as this perspective has shifted, there has been a deep, like I said before, a deep acceptance of purpose, spiritual authenticity that's going on currently. So I think right now it's important to really hold space for your twin, send them support, send them strength, send them acceptance, the energy of acceptance, everything that you wish that you had starting out. Because a lot of us didn't have that. This journey can be so isolating, especially in the beginning. There's so few of us that actually understand how treacherous this journey can be and how lonely it is. So we've had so much love for our twins that we chose to spiritually awaken to this first, so they wouldn't have to do this alone. So like I said, I think it's incredibly important to send compassion. Is a great energy to send someone. Compassion for their confidence to step into this new spiritual awareness. And all of you that are listening to this most likely have already been through this and have done this, and you know how intense and overwhelming and terrifying it can be for your old life to fall away and to completely cultivate an entirely new life, and at the same time work through all your fears that have been preventing you from reaching this new point. So I wish all of you the best during this. I wish all of your twins the best during this. I would really meditate on these energies, meditate on your twins' energies and what it feels like they're currently going through, how you can energetically send support to them, because I think it's incredibly important and needed. It is during a huge shift with the Lion's Gate coming up, and these are exciting new energies. So I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in today, and I will see you next time.